Alright, Crafty's back as promised, and now we're going to learn how to decrease. I have two methods of decrease for you guys today, and the first one is called slip slip knit. Again, you don't do this at the edge of your project, so I'm just going to go ahead and knit a stitch or two. I think just one. I think I've been knitting just one at the beginning. So I'm just going to knit this stitch, and now what I'm going to do is proceed to slip slip knit. So really, slip slip knit and the second method of decrease are like friends or partners, because one makes your stitches lean in to the left and the other makes your stitches lean in to the right. So anywho, on to slip slip knit. What you're going to do is just insert your needle knitwise and slip off a stitch onto your working needle, and you're going to do the same for the next stitch. Okay, fair enough. Gonna zoom in for you guys. And what we're going to do now is just knit them. We're going to insert our non-working needle back in there into both of those stitches, and we're going to knit them both. Oops. We're going to yarn over and just knit them both, treating them as one stitch. Okay? So I'm going to do that again. Alright, so now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and pardon me, knit a couple of stitches on off of my needles, like so. And now I'm going to go in for another decrease. So again, I'm going to insert my needle knitwise. You guys can see that, knitwise, and just slip it off, and I'm going to slip off another stitch in the same manner. Now, other people will just have you to slide them on to your working needle and then slide them back onto your non-working needle, but it's kind of like, what's the point? I like to insert my left needle in the front of those stitches and just go ahead and knit these two stitches, and it's literally the same effect. And so as you can see, having less and less stitches, which is the whole point. So I'm going to go ahead and knit a couple more stitches. I'm going to actually bring these needles up closer to you guys, and I'm going to insert my needle knitwise, slide off the first one, insert my needle, slide off the second one. I'm going to reinsert that left needle under those two stitches, and I'm going to yarn over and just knit through them. And sometimes this can be tricky too, especially when you're just figuring it out, but a little reworking and you'll get it in no time. Right? And just slide them all off. So I'm going to keep doing that across the entire row, and you guys feel free to either pause the video or keep watching. Alright, and I like to just go ahead and knit the last 2 stitches because, well, there we are. So, as you can see, we have started to decrease. Some of these decreases may create a little ruffle or a pleat almost, I guess you can describe it. But basically, it's pulling your stitches back in and back to the left. The slip slip knit method is what pulls your needles inward into the left. So now I'm going to show you guys how to knit 2 stitches together, or knit 2 TOG. Alright, now let's adjust that just a little bit. Let's get into knitting 2 together, or abbreviated as voila. So what I'm going to do is just regularly knit this first stitch just to get it out of the way and get away from the edge. And then what I'm going to do, let's zoom in for you guys. I am going to skip this first stitch on my left needle, and I'm going to go to the second one. Okay, and I'm going to make sure my project is close enough to the end of the needle so that I can work this stitch with ease. So I'm going to insert my working needle knitwise into both of these 2 stitches, just like that. Let me do that again, make sure I'm in range. Just do that. And you're going to want to make sure that your needle is in both stitches, and you're just going to knit them as you would normally knit 1 stitch and slide it off the needle, and that again decreases. Now this is a right leaning decrease, so the rows, couple rows back when I did the slip slip knit method on the right side of your work, you would do the knit 2 together, and that would evenly shape your project. Alright, so I'm going to knit a couple. 1, 2. Alright, and now I'm going to knit 2 together again. Inserting my working needle knitwise under 2 stitches at the same time, and just knitting them as though they were 1 stitch. Now this is my favorite method of decrease because it's much simpler. But of course you have to use this in unison with the other method to get the right shaping for your projects. But with enough practice, this will be easy for you guys in absolutely no time. Alright. And now I'm going to knit 2. And now I'm going to knit 2 together. And I don't like knitting the last 2 together. You can, but I usually don't. So, I mean, for the sake of today's tutorial, I am just going to knit those last 2 stitches. Alright? And I'm going to unbunch my stitches. I always do that. And that is essentially how you decrease. So I hope today's tutorials were helpful to you guys. If so, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up down below. Don't forget to leave me a comment, let me know how I did or what kinds of tutorials you'd like to see in the future. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you ring the notification bell so you never miss out on my awesome weekly content. And feel free to check out my other social media, guys. And until next time, happy making.